Episode 163 of the BIC podcast. We have survived our technical snafus.
Yeah.
More on that on the Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. But if we did, you'd find out about the technical snafus.
I hate technology.
Yes, there was a lot of it. No, legitimately, there was technical snafus everywhere to be had. It's scandalous. But nonetheless, we will follow on now. We are on the cusp of the AFC and NFC championship this week upcoming. And we've got an update on the horrifically terrible picks that you should mostly avoid. We'll find out more about that on this episode. And then the rest of it is, Brandon, not only is this podcast, now this podcast, to be fair, I believe is the premiere in sports card content slackage. But I got to tell you, the rest of the sports card content world is starting to catch up on us. I do want to touch on that as well. So I think we're going to have that along with all the regular segments, Silly Card of the Week. We're going to read your comments, all the good stuff that you usually expect, and most of the rest of the stuff that you also sadly usually expect. That and more on this episode of the BSC Podcast. Under the watchful eyes. Not yet. It's coming. See, I forgot to turn it on. That's how closely we're paying. That's how closely we're paying attention to it.
I now participate in this unless we are under the watchful eyes
of Brett Favre.
Okay,
he's back.
Thank you.
We got that on there. Kind of a, like I said, bit of a slow week right now, and I feel like that's going to be the trend for the next little while. I'll kind of touch on that in the closing segment there, but we'll get into some of the other segments. We'll get into all of that in short order. First of all, though, let's talk about some of your comments from last week's episode. Again, we're trying to work on our way up. I felt like, though, underappreciated, and Eric did appreciate it, was the image that I included in there. The image on last week's thumbnail was mwah, chef's kiss. Wonderful. Nonetheless, moving on. So first comment on here, Josh, asking for insight into ComC. I'm willing to share any updates. My updates, shipment requested December 1st, estimated time was early January, has been updated to February 22nd, 394,000 ahead of me. Fall Expo submission of 100 cards, none currently loaded. The ComC gods blessed you, sir. Hashtag influencer powers.
Yeah.
So let's see. Well, we're going to see, Eric, it's going to be even worse because that was the original shipment over to my US address. But I have another one where I decided some stuff. It was a much smaller one, and I wanted some stuff sent directly to me. So I said, fine, I'll pay the extra. I prepay the duties and all that. That's fine. I'll do that. So
duties. Plural,
not just one, Eric, plural. But so I prepay that. All fine. So we're going to see. Now, Brandon, there's only like 6,000 ahead of me. So that one might get shot out the door before
I'm
Josh
still on. I have a bunch of stuff there, and I have not requested to ship it home yet.
Well, I think the original backlog, Brandon, from what I saw from that other one, like I did check in with some other folks, and a couple other folks did have their stuff move. So it's not like the backlog, unless it gets busy time again. I don't see the backlog changing too much. Yeah, like right now,
my issue isn't even necessarily the backlog. It's the increase in the shipping price, and so now I feel that I need to add to the pile to make the shipping price worth it.
Spend more money.
Yeah. So to give context, so we can kind of monitor how this goes, I submitted my second request. This is a much smaller shipment on January the 15th. And right now the estimated date is February 13th, and there's 8,500 items ahead. So 8,500 is what it's currently set at. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then I'll report back my findings on that piece. But thank you, Josh, for letting us know. Hodges1455 said, give the video a like. Enjoy the listen as always. Thank you. Baseball card curmudgeon, Baz here. Underwater basket weaving is what many of these NBA players take in college. So not a bad choice, Bobbles. Wesley continued his passion for it into the NBA in reference to the silly card of the week last week.
Very nice.
Babuzo says, we'll collect with many more letters. Have the balls to cover the Bobbles silly card of the week Shart scandal? I doubt it. It's a fair point.
They did not. I didn't see any news on the reports.
It's a fair question by Babuzo.
Brandon, sometimes your very high level of integrity and honesty is hysterical to me, because there is a line where it's a little much.
Wait, okay. Hold on. Eric, I'm glad you brought this up. Hold on. I feel like it's an opportunity for me to bring this up because now I can allow the video and we can address everybody involved in said video. So Brandon, hold on. since Eric brings this up, I think it's appropriate that I bring up this specific piece because this came up last week in reference to the video, the podcast. Well, it's not a podcast, but it's kind of a show that Dan and myself, Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, and myself did feedback based on the first episode. But we had that included in there, and we had some feedback from on the hit list, which include Eric's personal frenemy, mostly enemy, Matt from Providence. So Matt from Providence had some feedback regarding it. So I want you to listen to it because everyone on this screen is referenced in said feedback. So let's hold on. Let's play the clip.
I've noticed that there's been quite a few new duos sprouting up around the YouTube and adjacent content content worlds.
Me too.
Not just so obviously I'm talking about Dan Vintage Baseball PC, and because I'm Carlos, it started their show.
So you didn't tell me you were going to talk about this, but this is a thing for me.
Okay.
So I saw that Dan posted that he's going to do a show with Because I'm Carlos, and I'm like, I'll tell you what, I've been waiting for those guys to do a show together for a long time. Like, those guys would be great together.
Yeah.
Then I saw the name, the Cardboard Cynics. I'm like, that is perfect for those guys. Like, I think that show's going to be good because I really like. First of all, I like Dan. I like Carlos's stuff, but I mean, we could all do a little less Sanderson to Orr in our life, and the other guy who sends the cards back if they grade too high. So, like, yeah, get rid of those guys. Dan's a good team.
It's a good team. I'm excited to see.
But yeah, I listened to the first episode yesterday. It was good. Yeah, I think it was going to be good. It was good.
So you see, both people were referenced. We addressed some of that on Friday. The Sanderson to Orr guy. We did address that whole situation, but there was reference to the since Eric brought up the whole integrity thing. It's like send him back the cards, Brandon. Catch the strays.
It's funny that that's what would stick out because the people who graded through us and the people whose cards were involved in that whole thing actually appreciated that it was done. So there's a little caveat to the story. It wasn't just my decision. There was people involved who appreciated it.
All right. Look, all I'm saying is if it had been Eric, he'd be like, why isn't it 11? 12? 47?
All cards that I'm involved in should be 11s. That's number
At
one.
least the minimum. You know what?
Okay.
Black label 11s. That's how big time we're talking. But not only 11s, black label 11s.
Well, have you showed everyone, the questionable activity that took place right before there was an announcement made regarding a certain company that Eric is involved in? Have you shared that with the people?
If it pertains to back at literally everything they do is shady, and literally everything Eric does is shady. Could you be more specific, sir? Narrow it down for me just a smidgen. That would really be helpful.
I will repeat.
The meeting that took place, and of course my camera won't zoom in on it, but that guy,
yes,
that guy right there.
Oh no, it's working now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this meeting was about here, but it occurred right before all the announcements took place. So
I'll repeat what I said on Friday about other subjects. I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm here.
This was a recent picture.
I'm here but it was in the past. This is the present. That was the past. I'm here to talk about the future and how we can better this hobby. That is my stance on most things.
On most things, it is that sounds about right. That's probably the most accurate thing you've said yet. I would argue. So, like I said, I did appreciate the feedback from the guys on there, and Brandon. Since Eric brought that up, I figured it would be appropriate. Hey, you know what? Since you're here, at least give you an opportunity to address it. Since everybody was included, in the feedback.
I can't even be mad. I can't be mad that my reputation is integrity. Like, I think that's a good thing. Eric just said he wants to make the hobby better. It has to start with integrity.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like we could 10x it without that. The integrity might get in the way of our 10x.
Oh, they're doing a very good job at 10xing the bank account without it, but sure.
Hey, listen, as long as the check clears, Brandon, Eric, I want it on the record. I do not have these problems. As long as the check clears, we're good.
you got to figure card collecting really hit mainstream with the first, card boom and, in the early 90s. And
I think by the late 80s you already had it going because I remember some shows were starting to pick up steam.
I'm talking about the first card boom, okay? So early 90s, late 80s, pitter patter, let's get at her, okay? So my point is, I've been involved in this hobby since '88. I've yet to see integrity being used within the hobby to better it. And I'm 52 in 2 months. So I don't think I'm going to see it in my lifetime.
That was a sneaky mention for people to wish him happy birthday.
Yeah, the 14th, March 14th.
That's enough time, Eric. That's enough time. I can get a custom made industrial sized vat of mayo sent your way by then. That's Brandon. That's what I'm hearing.
And none of that. And hey, and none of this weird shit either. All right, none of this weird shit. I want the good stuff. Don't send me this weird shit. That's useless to me. I want the good stuff.
Don't you use that at the card show that you spend the most money at?
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Or the future, apparently. The time in between the past and the future. Maybe. Just maybe. So now you know all, everybody. Just send Eric jars of mayonnaise. We will make sure the address is included in correspondence.
Or if you send money, put it in a jar of mayonnaise.
Ooh, I like.
I don't need money that
Right
bad.
there.
I'll toss it right in the trash.
All right, I'm going to finish reading the last comment now. Believe it or not, the comment section. See, Brandon, I find ways to fill for the this is why I am the Pope of the content gods. I still make content out of all this. All right, last comment on here from Dan's Vintage Baseball PC, also referenced in that clip. See, it all comes full circle.
Oh, this can't be good for me. Go ahead.
Brandon does not like my math skills, which is true.
At least Dan knew what I was talking about.
He
And no,
did.
Dan, it was no offense to you. I was just like, wait a second. How in the hell is that possible?
Listen, I transcend time. Eric doesn't want to talk about the past. I transcend time and space. Like, get on my level, guys. Get on my level. So anyway, that is the comments from last week. Thank you all. Appreciate the correspondence and comments. Feel free to include comments in there, and we'll follow it up on the following week. So let's get into the silly card of the week here. So first, we're going to start off with the results of last week's silly card of the week.
Come on. 4 in a row, baby. Let's go. Come on.
Oh,
I think Brandon.
Yes.
can we acknowledge the comments of the silly card of the week?
I have to go pull them up. I probably can't.
Well, I will just say, so there, I don't have the user's name, but there was a comment that says, "Do y'all not like Jason Robertson?"
Oh yeah, SP123. Yes.
So the answer to that is we all love Jason Robertson.
Some of us much more than others. We won't say anybody specifically. We won't single anyone out.
I'm guessing that they were a new viewer, new commenter. So I just wanted to make it known there is no Jason Robertson hatred on the BIC podcast.
I think there was a lot of disrespect to the bees. By the way, Eric, that was a great reference. I loved having the bees. And I included the meme on the episode. So I feel strongly that the disrespect was inappropriate. Just saying, the bees. But regardless, here are the results. We do count to testimonial, Brandon. Speaking of integrity, I believe this result once again proves the unimpeachable integrity of the silly card of the week vote. Listen, if I was going to rig this, I promise you, Eric would never win anything.
That's true.
Ever. So,
I
Brandon,
believe
That is a good point.
I would literally put my hand down on the scale.
Right,
I would literally put my hand down on the scale, and somehow Eric's percentage would be in the negatives. Somehow it would be in the negatives.
This is
you
facts.
just delete votes.
Yes.
Hashtag
But we count every single vote. I said it is the only true democracy in this world. While I may not agree with the people, Brandon, I am here to guard and respect their ability to vote.
Just like the 4 championship titles in a row I have as a cross-country coach these last 4 years, this is my 4th week in a row, I believe, of winning this. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
And to think, Brandon, someday, if Eric applies himself, if he works hard, he may be able to coach an actual sport.
No, it's much easier to coast cross country. You just got to whistle.
Run!
Run
It's
faster.
so easy. It's so easy. I'm not
Mhm.
no. I'm not going into anything more complicated. Game plans, plays. No.
Outrageous. Truly scandalous.
Do you tell them the comfortable shoes?
Ooh, comfortable shoes. Sounds
We
key.
do talk about shoes quite a bit.
All right. So we're going to give you this week's example. Once again, all the votes will be counted. So be there. The only true democracy in this world. So here we go.
Should we switch this up at some point and go anonymously and just show the cards and not tell who the cards are from?
Oh yeah, because people like me and they're voting for me. Yeah, no one likes me.
We've pretty much certified this point. So I like Brandon. I have no. We can discuss this. I have no issue with just showing the cards without context. But then we do lose the ability to give. We do lose the ability to give context though, because
I gave a absolute immaculate context description for Mr. Steven Schartz, and it still didn't get me the win.
Because everyone listened to your passionate pleas, and they were like, "You're full of shit."
Did not get a win.
No,
We're still out
Maybe we
seeking
should
justice for
20-minute
Toy Dan.
apology over the previous Sharks card that people are like, I am not voting for this.
That was after it was all said and done. Because I didn't realize it until after I had used it.
TBD. We'll see. We'll see if the committee, Eric, I will get the committee together and we'll see if we want to change it.
Winning. I ain't voting for that.
Yeah. We'll see what we have to do. For now, we'll stick with the conventional format. All right. Explain yourself. Go.
It's simple. Jake the Snake Plumber. You know, we share Chosen Rosen. It's the NFL playoffs. Who doesn't remember Jake the Snake Plumber?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand how. Well, let me rephrase. Why did he go with the wrestling Jake the Snake moniker?
I don't think it was his choice. I'm pretty sure somebody probably just called him that and then they roll with it.
But he has the last name Plumber. Like, it seems that would have been more appropriate.
The handyman plumber?
The plumber? Like, what would you call it?
Plumber Express.
I mean, he flushed his career away.
We'll just call him Roto-Rooter.
Good. Maybe it's just the Cardinals. Maybe it's just the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals do not have the best track record. There's been a lot of issues.
Kurt Warner ends about right there.
And by the way, that franchise, if you actually go look at it, that franchise goes back all the way back.
Oh,
like because the Arizona thing is the more recent, but like go back, like the Cardinals actually go a long way.
Phoenix and.
Well, I think they're also the Chicago Cardinals, and I'll actually pull it up.
I know baseball is St. Louis, but did the football team also have a stint in St. Louis? I can't remember.
Yeah, I will pull it up because Eric, like in my brain, like I think for a lot of us, we think about the Arizona Cardinals in their current kind of state, but the actual franchise goes all the way back a long time, actually.
Yeah,
but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. For now, we'll move on. So here is, believe it or not, this is not Eric's, but I figured we'd appreciate the Canvas Young Guns. Now, to me, I decided a different strategy here, Brandon, because I actually think that a lot of people like Eric don't understand what the word silly is. But since we've decided that just random shit is silly, you know, the ball pit thing is like, it's literally just a picture. But since apparently that's what we're going with, we're going to go with it. We got ourselves a little orange hoodie here, and the guy's literally just training. And this is the photo, and this is the card that we decided to use. So it's Matthew Wood from Nashville, training before a game in his nice orange hoodie.
He is he's doing some plyometrics and warming up, I guess, because this would be something I'd have my runners do. Except his form is horrible. His left arm is crossing the body. It needs to be out more. You never ever want to run like this. So,
Eric, could you demonstrate the proper technique, the proper form?
Good high knee lifts. I like that. The knee's nice and high, but the arm's got to be out more, and never ever across. Out more like this, and driving straight up and making a 90-degree angle like this on the side of your body like that.
Brandon,
So-
what I'm hearing right now is I think on Friday we need Eric to do a demonstration.
Eric,
What I'm hearing is this is a hockey card. This dude is not running at all. He's got to have a stick in his hand. And so his hand is going to be pretty hard to be like this because that'd be high sticking holding his damn stick up.
no, he's doing a running warm up, and he should do it correctly, so not to send the wrong message out to the children's.
That is important. Hashtag think of the children.
Yeah. Messages to children's
Mm-hmm.
is a
Plural. Children's.
So I'm glad. Oh Jesus! All right, so I stole this, and I will own it. I
want it for the record. Eric began with I stole this. Go on.
I stole this
normal.
picture
Mhm.
from Shut Up Josh himself.
Mhm.
And he posted this the other day. I sent him a message immediately and said, I will be using this week on Silly Card of the Week. This thing is utterly ridiculous. They made Ovechkin look like a Neanderthal. That is ludicrous. The broken nose, the missing tooth, the just, crazy person hair, the whole thing. Absolutely ludicrous.
So counterpoint to this. Ovechkin does have a gap in his teeth. He does have a broken nose, and that is his hair.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a Neanderthal in this.
So basically, what you just said, Eric, is that Alexander Ovechkin looks like a Neanderthal.
Yeah, a little bit.
So like this sounds like Brandon. This sounds like an accurate representation. It is what it is.
I will say that if you just showed a hockey fan the picture without the name, I don't think too many of them would be confused by who it was. I think they would know who it was pretty quick, but that is very unflattering.
Oh, that last point we all agree, but the previous point is like, oh, that's the guy who has the most goals, isn't he better than that Gretzky fool? Yeah, he is.
That is a very unflattering patch. So I immediately said I will be stealing this and posting it and giving credit where credit is due to Shut Up Josh himself. And anyways, this is my Silly Card of the Week.
Indeed. It should all be included in a channel post. You will have that on there, and then it will be able to go from there, and you can all decide for yourselves which one is the selection for the Silly Card of the Week. All right, real quick to close off on that thought and what I was just discussing. So the Arizona Cardinals have been such from 1994 to present day. Previously, they were the Phoenix Cardinals for their first section of the time from 1988 to 1993. So remember, the 1988 part is important because a lot of times we only think of the Phoenix/Arizona Cardinals. That's kind of what we think about. However, prior to 1998, they were also the St. Louis Cardinals, which they were from 1960 to 1987. They were the St. Louis Cardinals for 27 seasons. Prior to that, they were the Chicago Cardinals from 1959 going back to 1945, a year off during the interwar years, but then from 1943 going all the way back to 1922. Then prior to that, they were the Racine Street Cardinals until 1921 with several various years of operations. And then they were the Racine Normals going from 1900 to 1899. And then the Morgan Athletic Club to 1898. So with some interruptions of operations, Eric, this franchise has been going on since 1898. Not as long as the Toronto Argonauts, but still a damn long time, going back to the 19th century.
Oh, yeah. I know the franchise has been, up and down these last, handful of years, but yeah, we can't lose this franchise. It is definitely a part of NFL history, and it's I think it's just as important as, say, like the Chicago Bears, historically. So I hope they never have to fold or shut the franchise down, because I think it's important for the league. But the kid, and I'm just having a brain fart. I do know his name, but their quarterback,
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. I know he's kind of had an up and down career. In my opinion,
Ooh, in your opinion.
Nobody throws a ball better than this kid. Now, he doesn't always make the right choices. He's, his career's been up and down. I think they might be on the verge of saying, we no longer are in need of your services. But if you watch this kid throw a ball when he's on, it impresses the hell out of me. I mean, the line, the power, the spin, the speed, the accuracy when he's on. I don't think anybody in the entire NHL can throw a ball like this kid.
I agree. I don't think
the
anyone in the
NHL.
NHL can. Oh, Brandon, don't ruin the moment. I was agreeing with Eric that no one in the NHL. You know what? Eat it, Connor Bedard.
Yeah,
Get on this man's level.
You know what else Kyler's good
I
at,
got
Eric?
concussions.
You have.
You know what
You're
else he's good at?
You had a concussion during that
the
point.
NFL.
Yes, Brandon. Yes, Brandon.
Kyler's also good at Eric's favorite sport,
Call of Duty.
baseball.
Yes, that's true.
He was drafted in baseball.
He could have
He
been
may
in
have-
Oakland
he may have to
/
go
whatever they
follow
are
that.
now, A's.
He may have to go follow that if things don't improve. He doesn't stop making some
He's still
better-
young enough; he could have a career.
But
He already cashed
we'll
out a
see.
lot of money in the NFL. That's why he went to the NFL, because he could make money faster. Instead of riding around in the minor leagues for a couple of years, he's like, I can make money now. And he did.
I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I am saying
He's the best quarterback in the NHL.
he's
We heard you the first time.
definitely the best quarterback.
We
in
heard
the
you.
NFL.
We heard you the first time.
Also the best in the MLB.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, but
Aaron
man,
Judge would like a word.
when that kid is on, he is impressive. He's not on enough.
Coach Eric says, I would like to challenge the chat on this. I could think of a couple of quarterbacks who, arm strength wise, accuracy wise, I would take over Kyler. Because it's not that he doesn't have talent. Obviously, he has talent. He was drafted high for a reason. But no, in terms of I don't know, Brandon. When I'm thinking of arm strength, accuracy combo, there's a couple of guys that I could think of that I would put ahead of Kyler right away. And then if I
Yeah.
think about it more, I could probably think of a few more, because a lot of these guys come in with look. I will get to the NFL discussion in a couple of minutes. I was rooting for the Bears to get preferably destroyed. They were not destroyed. They did lose, which is wonderful. But Caleb Williams made some really strong, great throws. Now, he also had a 50%, completion percentage. Not great. But Eric was talking about individual throws. But in terms of individual throws, in terms of strength and accuracy, he makes some throws. There's a couple of guys out there who can make some throws.
And I think the players are very similar, because it's I was maybe not so much Murray, but Williams, he reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. Where he wants to be a gunslinger, and you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get that unbelievable pass and play, and then you're going to get that interception, and you're going to get that bullet right down the middle of the field to extend, the game, and then you're going to screw up over here. He's very Brett Favre-esque. I was thinking about that watching the game. I almost texted you, actually. I said I was going to text you something along the lines of, am I watching Caleb Williams or Brett Favre?
You would have been able to tell if they'd gotten to the NFC Championship and he had thrown a crippling pick. Not that I've seen it. Not that I've seen it. The crippling interception, in the critical moment. Been down that road many a times. Sad times. Nonetheless, vote for the silly card of the week. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to some scintillating NFL analysis shortly, but not yet. Before we get to that, though, I think we should quickly touch on any pickups. So I've got one that I can share with you guys. So I don't know. I know Brandon has at least a couple there. Is there anything? So I'll tell you what, why don't I start with you, Eric, other than your scintillating, other than pronouncing the best quarterback in the NHL, which you already did.
Yes.
Do you have any pickups that you would like to discuss first?
Yeah, I got very lucky. Found something that is important to me. I love this stuff, as we know, if you follow this and follow me over the years. So a collection came into the shop. It was really banged up. A lot of it was going to get trashed. And amongst one of those banged up cards was this 69-70 Gordie Howe. I've cleaned it up some. You can still see tape on it and, some dinged up areas and things like that. But what I really liked about it, all right, was, and you can see right here in 6970, they had stamps that you could place right here. Well, there was a stamp here. And I meticulously took out my pocket knife, which I carry, and kind of tried to get under it, and it came right off. Clean, clean, clean. It left no damage here, and it left no damage on the stamp. And I've already put it with the other Gordie Howe stamps. So this is the new one right here. I had 2 others. But so I got, with that card that's all banged up and not really worth all that much right now, I got a really nice example of the stamp that came out that year, was 6970. And, you can see right here, there's no damage to the back, a little glue or whatever, but it didn't rip. There's not, it didn't rip the back of the card off. So, I mean, I'm just really, really excited about, getting the 6970 Gordie Howe stamp that was put on the back of this banged up version of the 6970 card. So I was really excited about that.
I see.
That's my big pickup.
2 things.
Okay, here we go.
Only 2?
Did I hear correctly, Eric?
Here we go.
Admitting to cleaning up the card.
Yes, I took out the,
Okay,
Eric's card care.
cards. We
Eric's
got
card
that
care.
on
Yes,
record.
go on.
the traditional pantyhose.
And then
Traditional.
did we hear Eric say
And
it's not worth that much right now?
Well, you also skipped out, Brandon. You also skipped out on the, saw it in the shop and then
this is what I was waiting for. Yep. Okay.
There was a lot of things on record in that
A lot
statement.
of corruption and bad hobby behavior and the whole. Yep.
that's why
Yes.
every time Eric goes to Sports World,
Yep.
he's been working on his bike to lose some weight because that way he can come into Sports World. And then by the time he comes out, he's walking out like the Michelin Man. And he's like, Eric, you okay? I'm just a little bloated. I think it was like a bee sting or something. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Phil.
Yeah. So, yep, I Kurt card cared this. It's now a PSA 10. I'll put that in. I'll be selling it for $20,000 now.
Eric, you've got control over the you've got the keys to the Beckett shop on Saturday. You can go get yourself a black label. Why settle for just a PSA 10?
Well, because it's kind of getting a little obvious what I'm doing over there on Beckett on the weekend. So I'm trying to spread it around a little bit. Let's get the dogs off the scent.
All right, Brandon, what do you got?
I just have a couple.
Save us, Brandon, and please don't admit to any crimes.
No, these are both cheap little pickups. I've been buying Dalen Lyle, young Washington Nationals player, but I went with a leaf metal. I thought it was cool with the red, white, and blue on there and the ice or whatever you want to call it. Numbered out of 4 on that one. And then this was another cheap one. It's just the base Topps Chrome, but I don't know how many of these would be made this way, but it has the wrong back.
Ooh.
Speaking of the St. Louis Cardinals there, we have a Matt Swanson, St. Louis Cardinals pitcher back on the Dalen Lyle base rookie. So I thought, with as much stuff as printed today, finding something kind of unique like that I doubt there's going to be a ton of them. And a guy that I've been building a little collection of, I paid like $4 or $5, something like that for it. So figured it was worth it.
Fancy.
So.
Now I shared this one we were talking about before I hit record. I shared this one on the Discord, but I haven't had the chance to share it in this venue. So this was a recent eBay pickup that I'll have in a little while, hopefully. But in the meantime, I figured I would share. So let me give a little background. I'll explain what this is. So this is from, I believe it's 99-2000 Crown Royale. Now, a couple of different things. If you go back to kind of the 90s Pacific, you're familiar with the whole Kramer's Choice Award cards, the die cut kind of this Kramer Choice. Now, this is an example of that, but Crown Royal, talking about this specific year, or it's either 99 or 2000, 2001. I forget which one it is off the top of my head. But regardless, these are box toppers. Now, the critical piece of this is they're oversized as a result of that. Now, they come in various versions of it. You've got a base version of it, which is already very shiny. It's kind of a fun kind of reflection. It's got kind of a it's got a basically a hologram background with a lot of stuff going on it. But then the parallels to it come in these different colors, and the different colors are numbered. So this is the red variant. The red variant is numbered to 25. So it's a little tough to see there at the bottom, but it is numbered to 25.
Wow.
So you can see that at the bottom there. And they're different numberings depending on the different colors. So part of the reason I was excited when I saw this is because they don't come up all the time. They pretty much have kind of basically kind of disappeared over the years. But with that one in hand, once I get that one in hand, I'll do a little showcase of it. But with that one, I've got the regular version of it, which obviously isn't too crazy. There's also a green variation. So if you like your Christmas themed, so you can see, kind of get an idea of term. Hold on, I got like a card that was tossed in here, just to give you an idea on card size. That'll give you a little context of what the size is. So they are oversized. So the green is numbered to 30, but you can see there, kind of with the shine, it's got a little bit of a matrix kind of pattern going to it. These are very fun.
It's
So
like
that's
Christmas tree.
yes, you got that green out of 30, and then here is the gold out of 10.
Wow, nice job.
So with that one, I have 4 of them. There's still a handful. There's still a couple. I think there's 2 other ones that I need.
Yeah, I was
But,
gonna ask you, what's the set?
Yeah, the set of it, I will actually pull it up and find it, the exact. But regardless, like they just don't come up. So it's one of those things. Any of the ones that I don't have, I am 100% on board with. I'm happy to pay for it because it's one of those things where, like, I've been chasing after those. I eventually want to have the whole set of them, but it's one of those ones where it's like I keep waiting. That's why we do the safe searches. I keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and I keep hoping at some point it'll be there. But
You
just
get the same number, right? You get number 7 or number 1 out of each.
It's funny you mentioned that, Eric. Talking about the Dalen Lyle. So I have the black chrome auto, which are numbered out of 10, and I have 6 of 10. And the non-auto 6 of 10 came up. And I was sitting there and I was like, man, that would be cool to pick it up and pair it,
Yeah.
And I was like, it's going for more than I want to pay for the non-auto. So I ended up letting it slide. But then it just kept eating at me, and I was like, man, that would have been cool to pair the serial numbers up. But I actually, the rainbow back there that I've been working on with Taylor, since I've not been able to find the Superfractor, I actually have worked on getting his jersey number of all of the colors. And I think I'm up to the blue so far. Obviously, as the serial number gets higher, the harder it is to track down the specific serial number. But it was something... I couldn't find the Superfractor, so I went a different direction to have some fun.
There you go.
So.
Now to kind of close off that idea is that, so I've got it in front of me now, the missing ones that are left. There is a dark blue that is numbered to 35. So that is actually a higher number than a couple of the ones that I have. There is a light blue numbered to 20. And then the last one remaining is the purple, which is a 1 of 1.
Oh, Jesus. Good
So
luck.
2 of them I consider to be, so the light blue and the dark blue, in my opinion, are still attainable. They're still out there, and I should be, there should be enough copies out there in theory. The purple, I'm not holding my breath. It would be nice. I would love to complete that rainbow, but I can get close. The other 2, like having the out of 10 is super helpful because it means that I've got the rarest non-1 of 1. The other 2, like I said, are out of 35 and 20. So it is doable. I just haven't seen one. So that goes, and this is 99 2000. So 99. So going 26 years, and it's like, yeah, I finally got to the point where now I have 4 of the 7. Now I'll discount 1, give it 1 of 1. I'll kind of take that out of the equation. So 4 out of 6. I'm 2/3 of the way there, but the last 2 are tough.
Well, that's why we do this, right? It's the hunt, because I've said this a million times, and everyone has said it probably one way or another. We hunt, we find, we celebrate, we put it in a box, put the box in the closet, start a new hunt. That's what we do. So the hunt is what we live for. And as soon as we find it, in the closet it goes, and a new hunt begins. So, enjoy the hunt.
Indeed. So Brandon, speaking of the hunt for the Lombardi Trophy is down to 4. Eric, come on. Did you feel that segue? I felt it. I felt it. It was there.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And you know what? Just because it's a beautiful segue, the hunt for the Lombardi, brought to us by our friends at AMG Collectibles. AMGcollectibles.ca and the AMG Collectibles YouTube channel. Eric, double segues. Double
segues. Big day here.
Double segues. Woo! Let me tell you. So podcast episodes are not weekly anymore. Collector's Cal, Collector People Steve, much like Eric, just recently he received the notes that Eric just gave a moment ago about running technique. So he's doing a Rocky montage. So he might have to incorporate a couple of those tips in order to do his plyometrics based on Coach Eric's recommendations. But what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of reconvene with the guys. So every other week we'll do the podcast episodes. But one thing we'll try to do, and this is something I'll work with the guys on, especially where there's series and things that release in between. I'm going to try to incorporate some of that and see if we can't get some of that information out there, because regardless, it's a segment, but we'll see. We'll play by ear. But regardless, if you do follow the channel, that's where you'll get a lot of updates. And also it connects to a lot of the other social medias. Link in the description to all of that so you can check it out. And it still allows us to still talk about a couple of these things, but it also means that we have more to talk about. So just by spreading it out a little bit, because otherwise it's week by week and you never know how many series are going to come out. So that's one of those things we'll talk about. And I do know there are a couple of series upcoming. So again, we may still drop something on that channel. Stay tuned, TBD. But if you do follow the channel, feel free to subscribe and then you can check it out and we'll go from there. Now, given all this, we have made all our picks all through the way. We've gotten Eric to keep detailed notes. But Brandon, I was not satisfied. We are now down to the final four. I needed a visual representation. I needed a way for us to see how we've been doing. So Brandon, I've got it. Here we are. The BIC adjacent playoff picks. We've got the records. So Brandon, you and I are tied at 6-4 through 10. And the mayonnaise connoisseur himself, proudly, is at 8-2, which is a stark contrast to his NHL picks. While he may not know who the best quarterback in the NHL is, although he tried to figure that out earlier, the concussed one himself, by comparison to his NHL picks, is at an 80% clip, as opposed to his legendary run of getting every single NHL pick wrong for an entire year, which was impressive.
I'm still very proud of that. That was not easy to do.
But Brandon, I got to tell you, this is making me think, and this graphic is only emphasizing this point. Are we sure that Eric shouldn't abandon hockey entirely? Because clearly he's better at football, even though he doesn't know what a quarterback is or what sport they belong to. He's still able to do a better job picking between two different teams.
I have to respect the record, because I know the difference in the record. That I know the difference. I don't know exactly yours. I know the difference in my 6-4 and his 8-2 is I went against the Patriots both weeks.
There you go. You sound bitch.
So that's the two differentials there. I have two losses on the Patriots side, and that would be the differential point there. So,
yep. Well, unfortunately, I had one homer pick that I called as a homer pick when I did it. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? And the Rams got so close to losing the Panthers, so close. So there've been a lot of those. So actually, there's a couple of things I want to touch on. So by the way, appreciation for the graphic all. So feel free in the comment section to let me know what you think. Appreciation for the graphic. All right. So we're going to make our picks here in a second. So Eric, come on. You got to admit, pretty good graphic. It's pretty solid.
I was maybe, I see you got yours up there, right? And I see we got Bobbles up there.
Uh-huh.
Kind of thought it would get the one that, we've come to use over the last few years with a picture of me and Marcel. But
Eric, I looked deep into your soul and I pulled the image that I think encapsulates you most.
You chose to go in a different direction.
I did. I chose to go in a more accurate direction.
So again, for years we've been using the picture of me and Marcel for years, and but you've gone in a newer direction here,
Brandon. What I'm hearing from Eric right now is that next week's thumbnail, the mayonnaise connoisseur makes his debut.
I'm just saying, Eric, you should actually appreciate this image because it's very artistic.
It is.
You are in a suit and tie like a coach.
Yes.
You've been talking about your coaching and your success.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it kind of fits.
Yeah.
That right there, that individual there at the far end, that's a person who will tell someone the proper plyometric running technique.
Yeah, I do wear a suit when I coach. I'm not a NBA coach.
But you got to wear it to the award ceremony.
No, I wear like a nice sweater and a pair of jeans for the award ceremony.
Wow, just wow. Anyway, so there it is. There's the records of everything included. We let it not be said that I did not kick in the production values this week. We got a graphic and everything. It's pretty good. All right, we're down to final four. That means, Eric, it is time for the picks.
Well,
the picks.
Now, mathematically, I will
level again here.
Go ahead.
I want to admit, I think I'm already way off key when we had the discussion of whose cards we're going to have see the biggest impact. I think it's actually another Patriots rookie. None other than Jared Stidham.
Yep.
I think he's had the most impact on his card so far.
You're so choked up. The feelings inside of you as you try to say it's bad.
Yeah. But no, it seems he's going to take the crown for for biggest gains, it looks like. So
All right. So, Eric, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly refill my drink. But while I'm doing it, Eric, I'm going to allow you, given that you have, so I want to be clear. So we're doing this for ourselves here, and hopefully you have been following our picks because we're not that great at it. But mathematically, Brandon, all Eric has to do is somehow pick both wrong. And mathematically, we still can catch him because we do got the AFC Championship, the NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. So it is still mathematically possible to catch him. All he has to do is get it wrong. So remember,
are we going to do the Super Bowl for 2 points, the winner, and then the score?
Brandon, this is going to entirely depend on how the conference round goes. Depending on what happens, I will find a way to screw Eric out of this.
Okay.
Just so we're clear.
All right.
Like, no matter what happens, I'm going to find a way to screw him out of it. Just letting y'all know. But for now, we will continue. This is not like the silly card of the week. The silly card of the week is unimpeachable integrity. But this bracket, Brandon, these picks, like the NFL, are hashtag rigged. So I'm just warning y'all, one way or another, this is going to happen. Eric thought he was fine. He had done his plyometrics, and he's on the verge. He's headed towards the finish line. All of a sudden, steel chair to the back. Crack. He's down. And it's over.
Or a kneel at the end of the game.
One way or another. And then he breaks his ankle on it. It's a rough scene. It's a tough scene out there. All right. So, Eric, what I'm going to do is, given that you do have the best record, and for the sake of our entertainment, I'm going to allow you to claim that you actually care about a sport other than the NHL. Although, again, you did tell us who the best quarterback of the NHL was. But I'm going to let you claim your Patriots
of telling you what my favorite sport is, and it's not hockey.
Tiddlywinks is not a sport.
No, it's not tiddlywinks. It's women's professional cross-country mountain biking.
Being a perv is not a sport.
It's not to be a perv.
Then why isn't it men's cross-country biking?
That is my second favorite.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
But I prefer the women's races.
No kidding. Really?
They're more competitive.
There are watch lists for people like you. Moving on. Moving on. Anyway, moving on. So, Eric, I'm going to. This is your moment. You can literally. Your team is on the cusp of another Super Bowl appearance with someone who is not. Eric, there's a lot at stake here because you are facing a team that literally lost their starting quarterback who won them that game. This is the easiest quote unquote path to the Super Bowl you're going to have. And should the Patriots be victorious, this would be a Super Bowl that is not Tom Brady. So neither Tom Brady nor Bill Belichick could lay claim. This is literally not to do with either one of them. This would be, Eric, this would be huge. This is huge for y'all. This is your moment. Hold on. Go ahead. Time to gloat. This is your chance.
So we're very happy here in Patriots land. We're very supportive of this team. Nobody, and if they say otherwise, you call them a liar to their face, thought the Patriots would be in this position. No one thought they'd be 14-3. Nobody thought they'd get to the AFC Championship, and nobody thought that they'd have a true legitimate shot at getting to the Super Bowl this year. If anyone says otherwise, you call them a liar to their face. So we're all very, very happy here in Patriots Nation. They were not perfect. They had way too many turnovers in the last game, but thankfully, the Texans had even more. Okay, I think that Stroud's erratic quarterback play.
That's a very nice way of saying he sucked. He was trash.
He was trash. I didn't want to sound like a poor winner.
Trust me, Eric, if you had seen the Discord, Brandon, did you read some of the the Discord was not kind to the Stroud boy. And by the way, full disclosure, Dakota, whose Discord it is, he had purchased a rather significant Stroud card, which at this point, Eric, I am on record as having personally offered the princely sum of $10.
$10?
Yes, $10.
Wow.
Eric, all you need to know, you don't need the specifics, but all you need to know is this is an Alec Manoah situation.
Oh, boy.
It's one of those.
That's not good.
No, you never go full Manoah.
Never go full Manoah.
Well, Eric, someone went full Manoah, but it was CJ Stroud. I'm just saying.
I feel bad. So anyways, he sucked, but I didn't want to sound like a poor winner. But even though the Patriots were not perfect and they had some turnovers of their own, the Texans defense is just remarkable, and the Patriots survived it and scored the points they needed with some remarkable catches. That scumbag Diggs made an unbelievable catch. Booty shook his booty and made a one-handed catch touchdown in the end zone, which it's got to be one of the greatest catches in Patriots history. That thing was just amazing. So, the Pats definitely deserved the win, and they'll be in the AFC title game for the first time since 2019, which was the last time the Pats won the Super Bowl. So, and they're facing the Broncos, who unfortunately, and I do mean that, unfortunately lost their starting quarterback and superstar in Bo Nix. What a game he played, and fracturing his ankle and still staying out on the field and trying to, to move the chains, just absolutely remarkable. The kid deserves a lot of credit, but there is no way the Patriots are losing. There is no way in holy hell the Patriots are losing to Jarrett Stidham, who has not thrown a ball, one pass. He has not thrown one pass in an NFL game in over 2 years. Not one. He is not one. Okay. He's the only backup quarterback in the NFL who has not thrown a pass, at least one pass, been on the field for one play in 2 years.
So, Brandon, what I'm hearing right now,
no way.
What I'm hearing is if you're Jarrett Stidham, you're listening to the words of Coach Eric, and you're thinking, "Let's ride."
Well, Eric is actually incorrect.
Ooh, no, that's impossible.
No, you are incorrect. He has been on the field for plays. He just has not thrown a pass.
What victory formation? He just took a knee?
No, he's ran the ball. I mean, let's see. In 2024, he had a 100 QBR.
100.
I don't know, Eric. That sounds to me like Broncos by at least 30. That's what it sounds
like. Obviously,
he didn't throw a pass, but he had a 100 QBR.
All right, listen, I am wrong. Jarrett Stidham is clearly a future Hall of Famer, and he will win by the time he ends his career. We're talking multiple Super Bowls, I'm sure, but not this one. The Patriots are going to the Super Bowl
because Patriots got a Super Bowl.
I didn't say the Patriots are going to win yet. I'm saying the Patriots are definitely going. Mark your calendar. If you're a Pats fan, buy your tickets.
Buy your tickets.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
Eric, you buying a ticket?
Oh, I ain't got Super Bowl money. Are you nuts?
What?
I ain't got that Super Bowl money.
Scandalous.
You keep fixing up those Gordie Howes, you will.
It's right. It's right.
If they were Gordie Howe rookies, maybe.
All right. So we'll tentatively, and based on this, Brandon, I'm feeling a lukewarm endorsement from Eric. We'll put Eric tentatively down for the Patriots. Tentatively.
Tentatively. In pencil.
Yeah, in pencil. All right. So Eric, let's finish off with you then. Rams Seahawks, and please don't take nearly that much time. For Rams Seahawks, what say you?
Seahawks.
There you go. Brandon, what do you think? Start with the AFC and then go to the NFC. What do you say?
I don't have a coin sitting here to flip because on one hand, I would love for Jarrett Stidham to go whoop his ex-team's ass and take it to the Super Bowl like Jeff Hostetler did for the Giants back in the day.
I watched
that would be awesome.
I was watching
that. But on the other hand, how interesting would it be for the Seahawks to not throw the ball at the 1 yard line against the Patriots in the Super Bowl and actually beat them?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough one on the AFC. I'm going for the comeback on Eric. And I'm going to go against the grain. And I'm going to take Jarrett Stidham and the Denver Broncos.
Oh, you're an idiot. All right.
The Patriots barely beat
the best defense,
the record-breaking turnover machine of the playoffs in CJ Stroud.
They barely beat the best defense in the National Football League.
Well, you know who else has a good defense? The Broncos.
Yeah, wow.
You know where they're playing?
Mile High.
There you go. We're going with the home team and Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, you're
So-
a moron.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
That doesn't mean I don't love you, but you're a moron. Go ahead.
And I'm going Seahawks
All right.
because in the end, I'm pulling for Sam Darnold.
See, I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon.
Yes. After you shamed him and said that he was not that good.
No, Brandon, let me be, Eric, I am nothing if not clear on my motives. And I want to once again be clear on my motives. I
Yes.
still don't trust this man.
No.
No, I don't trust him at all.
I don't think anybody expected the ass whooping to the 49ers, especially when they were like, yeah, Sam Darnold had a oblique injury, blah, blah, blah. And he just comes out there and just whatever.
You know what I do believe in, Eric? I believe in two things. I believe in a thing called love, and I believe in my goddamn pocketbook. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Those are two good things.
Sadly, he's in a Jets uniform, though. That already.
Those are the rookies, man. Just
Oh, I
don't
know.
fight this. Those are
Yeah.
the rookies. All I'm saying,
You know
look,
what?
I'm not saying they're winding up on eBay, but I'm saying, Eric, I already took the fucking pictures. They're winding up on eBay.
But you know what I was thinking about, though? Is seriously, if he wins, he will have won a Super Bowl before Josh Allen.
Yep.
Before Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Before Josh Rosen. Before Baker Mayfield.
Mhm.
All of these great quarterbacks that were in that 2018 rookie class, and the one who may take the crown may be Sam Darnold.
In addition to that, he will also be only one of the out of the main quarterbacks. Well, you talked about the quarterbacks, but out of that 2018 rookie class, he will be only the second to have a Super Bowl after Saquon.
Yeah.
Because Saquon, obviously not a quarterback, but he does have a Super Bowl ring with the Eagles.
Mhm.
So he was the first one from that 2018 class, specifically the top, end of the draft, to actually get a Super Bowl ring. But out of the quarterbacks, he would be the first. He would have won the race to that. No MVPs, but a Super Bowl ring is a pretty good consolation prize if you're not going to have an MVP.
Julio was on that Falcons team that had the. Or was that before Julio? I can't remember.
Oh, the one that blew the 28-3 lead?
Yeah, the embarrassing. I can't remember if Julio Jones, but he was in that rookie class too. I was trying to think if he was on that Falcons team that they almost had it.
Well, if they had gone with the strategy, the obvious strategy was kneel down 3 times and punt. If they had just gone with that strategy, they would have won. Like, honestly. And again, remember who was the quarterback coach on that draft? My coach, who they re-signed. And I'm like, yeah, you know what the sad part is, Eric? This is a quick aside. The sad part is I can't disagree with them because you only get rid of him if you got a better option. And out of what's left, I don't know if you have a better option. But I also don't like sticking with what you got when you kind of already know what you got. So it's like, I don't feel great about either one of these. Not great. Yeah. Oh well. So
You
yeah. So
lost to the Bears in the playoffs as a Green Bay coach, you should automatically get fired.
that's basically the logic behind it. It's like the Bears should never be allowed to have nice things. That's kind of the whole point.
No. And I think if the Bruins face the Canadians in the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Bruins lose, you should fire the Bruins coach. You don't lose to Montreal.
Indeed. So yeah, unfortunately, like I said, the only way we could really catch up is if something horrific happens. So like I said, Brandon, I may have to figure something out for the Super Bowl. We'll find out. I think it's too much to overcome to actually have the injury. I don't believe in Jared Stidham. I would love to see the Broncos beat them, though. That'd be so good. It'd be so good. Look, Brandon, at this point, all I have left is Schadenfreude. All I have left is Schadenfreude. And say it with me, Brandon. Insatiable greed. All I have is left is Schadenfreude and insatiable greed. So,
Well, I will say, as a caveat, if the Patriots do win, then it gives Donald more chance to win the Super Bowl because, Jared Stidham is going to be a tough opponent.
Indeed. So, what I'll say is this. I'll go with the Patriots and the Seahawks. So the Super Bowl rematch. And hopefully by that point they will have gotten beast mode back. They'll put him back in uniform and right some wrongs, man. Right some wrongs.
It would be crazy, deja vu, if it came down to a similar situation. But this time, plot twist, they handed it off to Kenneth Walker, I think is their main back, and he scored.
No, it was beast mode. I literally gave it.
No, I'm saying right now.
Oh, right. No,
If it happened
I'm
again this
saying
year.
you get him You get
that
Marshawn
would be
in
awesome.
uniform for the Super Bowl,
Right.
and he suits up. And Brandon, Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl by not throwing a single pass. He just hands it off to Marshawn 87 times.
And every time he takes the ball, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, and he just runs it in. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Why is it 70-0? Because Marshawn ran for 10 touchdowns. He goes, he's making up for lost time. Vengeance. Sweet vengeance. Nonetheless. So we got all the picks written down, Eric?
We got them all.
All right. So
It's been a good run, Eric.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. So Brandon, for the most part, like I said, all I've got left is the shot in front. Got rid of the Bears. That's important. Got rid of that. And all that's left is Eric to lose. That's all we got left. So if we can get that, that'd be good. So yeah, so we'll have a doubleheader. I don't know, Brandon. I'm kind of feeling a watch along, and I'm trying to decide. I got to think about this. I need to give this some thought. But I'm feeling I haven't done it the entire playoffs. The last couple of years, I've done a couple of watch along, but this year's playoffs, look, just to close off the NFL talk here. This year's, and we talked about it on the Discord, but I was being kind of serious. This year's NFL is drunk. None of it makes any damn sense. All of it is absurd. All of it, I kind of want to throw out the result. Like, I don't care what happens. Like, none of it makes any damn sense. All of it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I get Paul's like argument of, oh, it's been good games. And
No, his argument is terrible. His argument is terrible. His argument is trash. A close game does not mean a good game.
Right.
Like, these teams are all kind of terrible. They're all awful.
I even said it in a message to a couple other buddies, and I was like, the NFL has produced, like, although the games have been close, they have not been, the performances have not been good. Like, just because you throw or have 5 turnovers or 4 turnovers on the other team and the game is close, it's like bad play. Like,
so that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, is it the same? Do you consider it to be good? Like, if you want to make the argument because there haven't been a lot of blowouts, you're right. There haven't been a lot of blowouts. That's true. But a lot of these teams are not clearly good enough to blow the other team out. Like, they can get a big lead. Oh, but massive comeback because the other team played like shit. They didn't with the lead they had. It should have been a blowout. If the team was good, they would have blown them out of the building. They'd be gone. Like, kaput. But they could not do it because they're all fatally flawed for different reasons. My analogy, Brandon, rock, paper, scissors. It's rock, paper, scissors. It depends on which combination you get, and then it's rock, paper, scissors to whoever wins. That's it. It's not because one of them is inherently better than the other. It's just like, which combo do you get, and that's the result you're gonna find on the other side of it.
I think we kind of touched on it going into it, though. I mean, the first week of the playoffs, we were sitting there questioning why a team with a losing record was in the playoffs. Like, from the beginning, it felt off this year. And I'm not saying you got to have Mahomes and all the big names in it because, Stafford, he's won a Super Bowl and everything. You got Josh Allen that was there. You have a couple good young quarterbacks. You had Jalen Hurts in there. He's won a Super Bowl. So it wasn't like there was just nobodies in it, but it just felt like, and take the playoffs away. The whole season has felt sloppy. Like, hell, look at the Ravens. We lost because of a kick. It's like, who would have had that on their bingo card?
Miss kick.
Yeah.
No, I would argue you lost because of a multi-game losing streak early on in the season that put you behind the 8 ball, and then you had to try to dig yourself out of it.
Injuries and other shit. But yeah.
And even the example you gave about the Panthers and the losing record, the Rams beat them by 3. Like, they barely scraped by to get out of there.
Well, that's because, honestly, and not to take anything away from any of the other teams, but the Panthers looked like the most competitive team out there so far. Like, they were, even though they lost, they played their ass off in that game.
Yeah, and that's kind of, like I said, this playoff year has been weird. None of it has been. I can't co-sign on Paul's idea. I think that a lot of these games have been close because they're not good. Well,
I would say, if you want to argue that the close games have kept it somewhat interesting, you could go that route. But to say that the games have been good or even entertaining, yeah. What does Stroud have the first week of the playoffs? 4 fumbles or something like that, and then this time he had 4 interceptions, and it was 3 fumbles. I don't know, but it's just like that kind of sloppy play. Just it takes it out. I mean, your Patriots didn't look great. You just sucked less. That's all it was. You sucked less.
playing in snow is tough for both teams, and playing against the best defense in the league and coming out with a win is a big deal. So I'm not going to just say they won because Stroud sucked. It's not the only reason. They played well against the toughest defense in the league and came out victorious. And Stroud sucked.
Stroud sucked a lot. Like a lot. Just throwing it out there. Actually, this is kind of a funny thing. Brandon, so remember we played the game earlier in this. We played the game earlier in the year where we talked about the whole QBR thing.
Mhm.
So remember, 0 to 100, 50 being average, 100 being perfect, I guess, so to speak. Overall, Drake May had 179 passing yards, 59.3 completion percentage, and 3 touchdowns in the winning effort. From 0 to 100, what was his QBR?
38.
Okay. Eric, 0 to 100, 50 is average. We're talking about one game.
27.
What was his QBR?
27.
20.8.
And Stroud's was probably like 4.
It was like negative. It was like the temperature outside right now. That's not great. That's kind of where I'm sitting there like, yeah. You guys were fighting for who was the most trash. Oh, hold on. Brandon, you'll appreciate this. Stroud's QBR was 21.1. His QBR was higher. Oh, amazing. So yes, so that's the thing. There you go. So feel free to make your own picks. Feel free to make your own picks in the comments, and just understand. And kind of as a closing thought on this, I like to place the odd wager. I stayed away from the entire playoffs so far. I didn't touch it with 50.5-foot pole, Brandon. I may like a little gamble, but I'm like, I don't understand a single thing that's going on right now. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. I can't come up with it. I can guess on a 50-50 chance, but I got nothing. I'm looking at it. I got nothing. Regardless. So, believe it or not, we will touch on a couple of sports card topics, a couple of small ones here at the tail end. So, first one, a quick update on kind of something. And this has kind of been an interesting thing. I know may not interest the majority of you, but I'll keep it high level. But it is kind of interesting. I always talk about the Expo and obviously the branding of the Expo and a lot of that stuff related to it. It's something we touched on last Friday. The Expo is kind of partnering up with a CSC, who is kind of another promotional group who are putting together card shows. And they're creating what they call the Collectors Supershow. Now, here's the thing. The only reason I even think it's worthwhile bringing up is because the Expo brand has been around for a while now, and they've been doing a lot of different things. So this is in February that it's supposed to happen. It's happening at the International Center, which is where they do the spring and fall Expo. But the reason I thought it was very interesting is that I've been getting a lot of emails on different updates for promotion with this. And part of it is that ComC is going to be there. eBay is now going to be a one of the title sponsors for this now. So that's a big change because, again, this is kind of CSC has been doing a couple of shows, but they've also done some shows at the International Center trying to do a thing. CSC, though, tends to be really heavy Pokemon. It's kind of the opposite. A lot of folks talk about these different shows. Oh, man, bringing Pokemon in. Well, CSC has been heavy Pokemon for a while. Like, this isn't new for them. The Expo brand is not heavy Pokemon. It's more sports card related. But one thing that stood out to me, kind of playing into that, is that we've got some autographed guests, plural, because the CSC show's done guests, but only a handful at a time. But now with this one, we now got Yvonne Cornwallis and Rick Wamsley, and then Doug Gilmore, Joseph Wall, and Jacob Quinlan. So kind of current day Leafs of the past, and we got Yvonne here sitting in the middle of it. So it's like kind of interesting because this is a little bit more in tune with what the Expo normally does. They bring in these different signers. So now you've at least got the bare minimum 5 signers, which may not sound like a lot, but compared to what a CSC show usually the CSC show maybe will bring in 1. They're not really trying. That's not their focus. The Expo, by contrast, will bring a ton. So this is kind of a in-between kind of compromise between the two. But that feels a little bit more Expo-y, which is interesting because the next Expo is normally kind of late April, early May. Other thing that kind of stood out to me. Here's the dealer section. They broke it up into 3 pieces. They got the sports pavilion. I'll get to that in a second. Here's the TCG piece, which obviously, look, very heavy. Very heavy. And then you got a cosplay K-pop thing. So Eric will be camping out shortly.
That's where Bobby will be in the Sailor Moon outfit.
So here's the thing. This I expect. This doesn't surprise me at all because this is in line with what the previous CSC shows usually are with really heavy TCG presence.
Right.
But this sports card presence is actually much bigger than what I was expecting. A couple of notable names.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you notice any notables?
That's what I'm going to get into. That's exactly where I'm going. So out of this, I was reading through it earlier today, and what I was saying, so and I'll get to after I finish explaining this, I'll get into why this is interesting to me. So a couple of them make sense to me. Some of the other ones surprise me a little bit. So Bosa Promotions, they do some card shows out of the Western Canada. So they're promoting that. Makes sense, reasonable enough. Some of these names I'm familiar with. You got Kojo Sports Collectibles. PSA is going to be setting up, but now they've got an office in Mississauga. That's fine. Makes sense to me. Now it's a hop, skip, and a jump for them. No big deal. But then you've got Dolly's. Dolly's usually has a big section at the expo. They usually have those big, long kind of multi-table booths with a little bit of the end caps on them. So they're going to be around for that. Interesting. Frankie Sports Cards, who I'm familiar with. Grizzly Sports Cards, who does unopened. So they do a lot of wax. And they usually got a section kind of over in the side of the expo there. Hit 'em High. Josh is going to be there, which is fine. Again, he's within range. Icebreakers we got on there. Martin Sports Cards. Again, they're in Eric's favorite place in the world, Guelph. So they're based out of there.
Not a real.
So we've got that. Platinum Promotions, Len Potty, Eric's best friend. We got that there. So interesting. That's vintage hockey. So that's a nut. So seeing Len there is interesting to me. So that's a name that kind of sticks out to me when I'm looking at this list. I'm like, interesting. I'm curious. Savage Cards, who does a lot of consignment stuff. They're kind of an interesting one that's in there. Toronto's card collector actually does the wrestling. So I'm familiar with that person. And then Total Sports GP Sports Cards, who does a lot of the high-end hockeys. And obviously they got the shop in Etobicoke. So they're, it's kind of, it would be within range. It's their home show. So I get it. But this is actually a pretty decent, and by the way, this does not include ComC, who is also going to be taking in submissions as well. So they've been able to talk some different things going in. So Eric, this is it's evolved from what I first thought it was going to be into a little bit more of a mix comparatively. They've definitely beefed up the sports card thing to match with the expo branding a lot more.
Yeah, this is a pre-spring expo. You mentioned my buddies over at Kojo Sports that I work with, in the fall when I come up there and work in the autograph pavilion. We showed the autograph guests and Sports Authentics run by Steve Fournier, another guy I work with and are friends with. So my point of bringing that up is they're bringing in the same promoters that they usually do for the spring and fall shows, which, of course they would. They're used to working with these guys. These guys have good reputations. But I guess what my point is they're not skimping. All right. They're bringing in, their regular guys that they have, for the last handful of years, to bring guests in, and they're bringing in some big names. You can't get at, all right, maybe one other person, but other than Dougie Gilmore, you have that guy that scored 10 points against the Bruins one time. Other than him,
you mean Daryl Sittler?
Yes. Other than Daryl Sittler, Dougie Gilmore is the biggest freaking name you can get that's alive today that put on a Leafs uniform. Okay, so they're bringing in the big guns.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting, Brandon, what stuck out to me, because obviously we talked about in the past these different places that are getting all these shows and all that. This demographic is pretty good in terms of shows we have, but they're not trying to run large shows all the time. That's not really what they angle with. And again, the expo branding still holds some cachet because they don't run a million shows. That's not a thing they do. They are running some regional shows now. So like Menzie underneath that umbrella, they've got an Edmonton expo. They had a Montreal expo. I don't know if I think they're going to relocate that somewhere else, but they've got some stuff out west. So they've got that component of it. They got the Sports Card Expo, but the Sports Card Expo is already twice a year anyway. This one is kind of a weird one because it is with the expo branding, but also the CSC show, which they do their show more often. So that's reasonable. But yeah, they're bringing it together. And again, the K-pop and video games and all that would normally not be an expo thing. That's a CSC thing. The heavy TCG presence, that's a CSC thing. But the CSC has obviously got a section. You saw it when you went to visit it. There was a CSC section inside of the expo proper. Like they had their own pavilion inside of the general expo that took up a fair bit of space, but it was still over in the corner. They were doing their own thing kind of over there, a mini show inside a show. And it was more heavy Pokemon there, even though they had some sports cards. That tends to be the way CSC runs their business. It's heavy Pokemon, K-pop, anime, all that stuff, but with some sports cards sprinkled in. Expo tends to be more sports cards with some Pokemon sprinkled in. And now they've decided to create this super show, which is like, so now I'm genuinely interested, Brandon. I was going to go anyway because I figured I would drop off some stuff at ComC. So I already had a cause. It's in my backyard. I can go for a day, a couple hours, go drop off some stuff at ComC, maybe some stuff at Slab Sharks, and then get the lay of the land. Now this is feeling like more of a mix. And the fact they split it up into pavilions means they're acknowledging, Eric, that these are very different audiences. These are very different groups.
Say that. Yeah, they have to keep them separated. All right. I have no problem. Listen, first of all, honestly, I have no issues with how other people collect or how they enjoy their hobby time. I don't want to go to a show searching for vintage hockey cards and having to manipulate through an aisle with someone with a big giant Transformers cosplay outfit on. Okay, I'm not interested.
I go that attitude, Eric.
I go to Comic Cons with my daughter. I have since she was very little, and I enjoy when that stuff's all going on when I'm there for a Comic Con. If I'm going to go look for vintage hockey cards, I don't want to deal with that stuff. So they have to stay separated. All right. But the sports card people don't want to deal with the Pokemon people and vice versa. And the Pokemon people and the sports card people don't want to deal with the cosplay people and their big outfits and the silliness that goes along with that. And I mean silliness as the fun that they're having. Okay. Because again, I go to Comic Cons, have for a long time. You don't want to mix all that up because you're going to get some grumpy old guys, just like me, looking for, Willie O'Ree rookie cards and not wanting to deal with someone dressed like Sailor Moon. I'm not here to deal with this. This isn't my mindset. This isn't what I signed up for. You go over to that side of the building. So sometimes segregation is good.
Out of context, the jokes write themselves. Moving on. What I was going to touch on here, and this is kind of the final piece on this piece, and then Brandon, I'll open it up to you. Here is what the 2026 Expo calendar looks like. This is interesting because, like I said, again, I understand that for the majority of you may not care about this, but this is one of our larger promoters. And by the way, these are the folks that also run Strongsville. So for the vintage folks, Menzie runs Strongsville as well. So right now they've got the Collectors Supershow thing here in February. Then you turn it around, Edmonton Expo in April, beginning of April. Spring Expo, April 30th to May 3rd. So right there, you kind of turn that around. Montreal Expo, May 15th to 17th. Calgary Expo, September 18th to 20th. Montreal again, a week later in September, 25th to 27th. And then Toronto in November, beginning of November. That's a pretty full calendar for running the Expo branded shows.
Is Calgary new?
Calgary's new to me. It was Edmonton before, for sure.
Yeah. So, they're going to be in Alberta twice, Montreal twice, Toronto twice,
Well, Toronto 3 times.
Well, Toronto 3 times.
If we count the Super Show, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Pretty aggressive expansion there.
It is. And, not every single person can get time off from work or whatever and travel long distances just for, say, November 5th through 8th, right? So, yeah, you have to have other shows, but too many shows, does that water it down? Does that affect things in the long run? I mean, these are just questions. I don't know for sure. But if you live in the Mississauga area and you have 3 massive shows in a year, do you have the time or the funds to show up at all 3 and drop thousands of dollars at all 3? Where if there was just one, maybe you could do that.
I don't think that they'll have a problem, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, Chantilly, the only thing that I see weird with it, I'm surprised. Like, I would almost think they would do that Super Show in the summer. Like, Chantilly here does like a spring, a summer, and a fall. And I don't know what they're doing now because they're losing the space, but that's how they would do it. The fact that they're doing February and then May, being that it looked like, I believe that was the end of May, that might be enough gap, but I probably would have done like, again, a spring, summer, and fall.
Well, so that's the thing, Brandon. It's not end of May. It's end of April.
End of April. The other one was May. Okay.
Yeah, and that was the one in Montreal. So that wasn't the Toronto one. So that's over in the other province.
That may be too quick of a turnaround.
That's what I mean. So right now, the first 4, so out of the ones that I listed off, the first 4 are very tight. You got mid-February, 13th to 15th, mid-February. So right now, this is about 3 weeks out, give or take, mid-February. Then beginning of April in Edmonton. Obviously, that's out west. Toronto, April 30th to May 3rd. So if I go there from mid-February to end of April, 2.5 months, 3 months, basically, almost 3 months, not quite. Montreal, immediately after that, within a couple weeks of the Toronto one. Calgary, then suddenly between May and September, there's a gap. To your point about the summer, problem with the summer, and this has always been kind of a thing in this area, a lot of people go out to the cottage and stuff in the summer. We got cold weather so much of the year that if you get warm weather, people don't want to be going to a card show. Card shows in the summer tend to slow down. So a lot of the big promoters won't run it.
Do you think also that they're not doing it because just looking at that, to be honest with you, the feel I'm getting is Canada wants to have their own national. And they're literally calling it the Collectors Supershow. And so you have the national that's, parked there in August. I get, you're saying you got the cold weather and everything so much, but I'm wondering though if it wouldn't open up more attendance for like outsiders who want to travel, like maybe go on vacation in the summertime and you want to go up and see Niagara and everything else, like like we did in November. I think you might gain a little bit of attendance.
So you're saying that people from the western part of Canada, where it's warm and warmish and rainy, during the winter sometimes, and southern United States don't want to travel to Ontario in the dead of winter, where it's colder than a witch's tit, and you can't predict whether or not you're going to have 20 feet of snow and ice and horrible conditions. That you try to plan a vacation to fly into, into Mississauga, where they may have to cancel flights or postpone flights because of major snowstorms or ice on the runway. I mean, it's really hard to plan a trip into Ontario into the dead of winter.
Which would be a good argument, except the November one is the better attended show.
Yeah, but in November it's just starting to get cold. I'm still
sometimes, not every year.
Yes, but I've been up there wearing shorts. So you'd never deal like this was the first time in 5 years that there was actual snow, and it really wasn't that much. So,
I'm trying to figure out which side of this argument you're trying to make, Eric.
Well, I'm trying to say it wasn't the dead of winter. You had a light snowstorm. I'm from New England. That was a light snowstorm.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that cold.
Yes, I know.
I thought the weather was good.
In the dead of winter, Southern Ontario might not be the place you want to vacation for a week.
Brandon's argument wasn't about the dead of winter. His argument was the middle of summer. And if you paid attention to this, between May, there's nothing in June, nothing in July, and nothing in August. I listed off 7 shows here, nothing in June, nothing in July, nothing in August. You know why? Because to your point, maybe you could convince some people to be like, oh, this is the nicer weather period. Here's the thing. But the problem is all the people in the country would skip it. Because during that weather period, they don't want to go to a card show. They want to go to the cottage. They want to do other shit.
Yeah, they don't want to be locked indoors.
So you can tell literally by the structure of this calendar. They have 7 shows here. You could space them however you want. They explicitly ignored 3 months of the calendar.
Is that so much that portion of it, or is it that the sports side of the shows is so hockey heavy, and that's literally the downtime of the hockey season, that they don't feel that maybe the dealers have said, hey, we don't want to do it in the hockey off season, or the prices are soft, it's hard to make sales and all that. Is it part of that as well? Because let's be honest, a lot of card folks, they don't care if it's beautiful and sunny or snowing like crazy. They don't know anything else but sports cards.
I think that's definitely part of it. It's a component.
I can't get to the sports cards.
It's a component of it, but that's why I say, like, you have to kind of cater. Again, having people travel from outside at the destination show thing, again, it's a double-edged sword, right? If you're trying to do a destination show thing, you can't have a destination show all the time. Previously, you had 2 shows a year. They were spaced out pretty evenly. You'd have one in kind of the late April, early May time period, and the other one would be in November. That was your gap. And then slowly over the years, they've added some of these other shows. But like a perfect example of this, they've got the Dallas Card Show. They run the show pretty regularly, but if you look at it, so right now I'm looking at the 2026 show dates. They run their show, and again, this is in Texas, so you're going to have different weather pattern there, much warmer on average, just in general. But even them, they're doing one in January, one in March, one in May. Then they go to July, and then jump to September. So they spaced it out so that they've only got between May and September, they've got one show in the middle of it, smack in the middle of it. So they've got the one July show, but then May, and then they don't come back until the fall. A lot of these shows, you can run shows on a regular basis. Like I said, you have to kind of cater to the demographic too, because otherwise your plan is, okay, so hopefully you can get enough people to travel from the outside of Canada because the people in Canada don't want to do it. Like I said, they're skipping 3 months. It's not an accident.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, personally, I would be more interested in attending, especially if it's going to be like a bigger show, and what that looks like, what they're going after there, especially with the way they named it and everything else. And maybe this is to see what the acceptance is of this kind of format, and then maybe they, get feedback. Who knows? It looks like it's going to be interesting. It looks like it's got a touch of everything with the comic side of things, plus the TCG, and then you got the sports sprinkled in. So yeah, if you're going, let us know how it is. And we want to see the Pokemans and the other stuff too.
Oh, I want to see video of the cosplay stuff. Please send that, because I know I get Bobby in a Sailor Moon outfit. I know it. I just know it.
We're gonna find out it's all cosplaying, female cyclists, and Eric's gonna be like, "Oh my god, my people, what?"
I can dress up like Yolanda Neff.
Okay, you mean like other than what you do in your own time?
That's her autographed jersey right there, Yolanda Neff.
I think it's funny that Eric threw shade at cosplay people in the sports card sections when, that's kind of what everybody is doing in a similar way, not to the extreme, when they're wearing their jerseys and stuff.
Well, so Brandon, I'm glad you brought this up. The angle I was going to go with is I found it funny that he was talking about all the cosplay. He's talking down on it because for decades, Kiss cosplayed as a musician band.
Not talking down. Have you guys been to a Comic-Con where there's cosplay? Have either one of you?
Actually, I have.
Okay, so I've been a ton. There are very large costumes that take up a lot of space in the aisles where you're bumping into people, and there's a lot of noise and a lot of electricity and a lot of excitement and a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening.
He's sending force lightning and everything. I can see.
I think he's cosplaying 11 from Stranger Things right now.
You need to understand, if you haven't been many times to major shows, people get really into this, and you don't want to be sitting at a table focusing on your vintage hockey card collection and get bumped into somebody, dressed up in, a full Boba Fett costume or something, and they turned around and their jetpack hits you. It's crazy what's at these shows.
But they were looking for vintage hockey too, Eric.
Yeah. No, I don't think they are. If they are, it's like,
don't you judge Boba Fett and assume things.
Jeez. Grogu needed a new one for his PC.
For 10 years straight, at least 10 years straight. How old is she? She's 21 now. 10, 11 years straight. I've been going to the Boston Comic-Con. I've seen it all. I don't want to deal with that while I'm doing.
If you've made it this far, put in the comments who Eric dressed up as. I want to hear the responses. Please, if you've made it this far, put in the comments who you think Eric dressed up as.
Comic book hero t-shirts. And that's as far as I would get. I'd wear my Captain America t-shirt one year, my Punisher t-shirt another year. Maybe there was a couple of others I don't remember, but that, my daughter would dress up, especially when she was younger, and that was a good time for us. So,
I enjoy that Eric believes his lies, Brandon. I appreciate the amount of effort he's put into it, but it sounds to me like he's like, I don't want to discuss my costume. I'm not here to talk about the past.
Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, bumped into me in a crowd, and I turned around.
And you're bashing people bumping into you.
He wasn't dressed up like C-3PO at the time, but he did bump into me, and I turned around and I'm looking face to face at Anthony Daniels, and my jaw hit the ground. He just said in his British accent, "Oh, excuse me," and it was C-3PO. And off him and his handlers went off to the booth they were gonna go do a thing at. I have the thing he did at the booth all recorded on my phone.
The thing.
But I didn't have him bumping into me and saying, "Oh, excuse me," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I just got bumped into by C-3PO," and he, C-3PO's voice and Anthony Daniels'
Did
voice,
he bump into
same
you,
voice.
or was it the goldenrod version?
It was not the goal.
I was about to literally, Brandon, I was literally going to ask this question. How far away was he when he bumped into you?
Yeah, wasn't the goldenrod.
There could have been some distance between you. And he's all the way on the other side of the room when he bumped into you.
But,
how'd that go?
I mean, he didn't put on a voice to be C-3PO. He just that's the way he sounds. And when he says, "Excuse me," pardon me, it's the exact same voice. So
I see. On that bombshell.
Imagine getting bumped into, turn around and C-3PO. He just bumped into you and he's saying, "Excuse me," and so I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's screaming at you from the other side of the room because he's all the way over there.
Because of the goldenrod. Yeah, I understand. But my mouth was agape. I was just
thankfully your mouth was at head level as opposed to other places.
Eric, you just went too far.
Like
there.
it could have gone to horrible places. Look, unless we venture into Friday
this is
territory.
not Friday.
Unless we
not
venture
Friday.
You went down
Monday
that route.
evening. This is Monday evening. Stop
Eric, this is exactly how Mr. Tickletrig started. This is exactly how it happened.
Hey,
don't blame the
I
rest
have
of us.
an Anthony Daniels story. Don't be mad at me.
We're not mad at you. Listen, whatever makes you excited, whatever makes you happy, whatever you think about when you're watching some Emmanuel in Space, we'll talk about it on Friday.
I'm finding the pitches right now.
Please don't. Anyway, I'll finish my thought on the thing. I'd be genuinely curious. I will go. Like I said, I was already incentivized to go anyway because it was close by and I was going to drop off some stuff for ComC anyway. Once they announced they were going to be there for ComC, now I'm curious. Now I'm genuinely curious. I'm like, okay, I got to see what this configuration is because that surprises me. I don't know. It's interesting because for the local dealers, like I said, for the GP sports cars and those guys, they sell stuff all the time. They buy and sell stuff all the time. So honestly, Brandon, if there's a show with a decent amount of people in it, they should probably be there because they're buying stuff and selling stuff all the time. So for them, it's like just another buying show potentially. Or even if they can sell some of their stuff because they've got some high-end stuff, you could sell that anywhere. There are enough local buyers who will probably be interested in some of that. So they'll be fine. Martin Sports Cars and those guys, I think they've done enough business. They've been around long enough. So I get it. Like I said, anybody who was within driving distance of here, I can get the appeal because you've at least got the branding to go with it. And again, getting multiple signers, you are trying to draw in an audience because there is an audience for those signers. So that's going to get some people through the door.
That's Anthony Daniels.
Wow, he's ascending. It's incredible.
I can't really get the glare off, but maybe, oh, there you go. There he is. So
thankfully, he finally put some pants on for that picture. Anyway, moving on. So kind of last thing, Brandon. I'll keep it quick because, like I said, we can talk about it more on Friday or a later episode. But what I was going to mention was, this is an observation I have. I want to do some more thinking on it and then potentially talking about it a little bit later. I have been slowly tapering off a lot of the sports card YouTube watching because honestly, a lot of it really feels same. Like it feels like it's stagnated quite a bit. But there's one specific thing that I've been focusing on, and we were talking about it before I hit record. I don't have a problem with our AI overlords, certainly not, because again, they've given so much entertainment to us. So much entertainment to us on the Friday, especially. I appreciate our AI overlords. But a lot of people are leaning heavily into creating the thumbnails with AI and AI programs. And the problem is if you use the same AI programs, the thumbnails all kind of look the same, no matter who's making it. Like I see the same fonts, the same like stylizing look of it. And I'm like, if I see this enough times, I'm like, are you all using literally the same program and like feeding it the same prompts? Like it all looks kind of the same. So, and I'm like, I can't even distinguish which one of you this is from. Again, I will, put my own hand up and say that for the Friday Live, I created that one using one of the AI programs. I think it's called Ideogram. I created with that one. I played around with a few different prompts and I found one that I liked. I like creating a template. So for that, I'll create a template, but it's a Friday Live, Brandon. It's not like I'm not changing it week to week. But I feel like for individual videos, I think there's something to be said for like, I don't know, customize it a little, tweak it a little. Don't just like punch in a couple of things in the AI. Here's your image on the side of it. And here's like a thing. And here you go, AI it. And I'm seeing the same fonts, the same colors, the same everything. It looks all the same.
Yeah. I miss having Photoshop, honestly, because the thumbnails used to be my favorite part about doing videos. I could get creative and have fun with Photoshop, but I got rid of my Adobe subscription. But the program I use, it seems to differ from what I see mostly. The trick then is for it. Actually, the problem I have with the program I use is normally the file it creates ends up being too large to upload as a thumbnail. So I have to get a little bit creative with that. But yeah, I agree. If it all becomes the same, it's like watching reruns.
Well, it's not even just that. Like if I'm scrolling, like just put it this way, just I'm giving a logical rationale for this. If it all looks exactly the same, I can't tell whose channel this belongs to. Because the imagery of it looks kind of the same. So I'm sitting there like, okay, so is this from because when a few people are using it, I can figure out who's using it and be like, okay, fine, whatever. But when a bunch of people are using it and I'm seeing almost the exact same, you can do some things. You can have some fun with it. Like you can create channel logos with it or banners with it and whatever. And some of that looks pretty good. But a lot of the ones will use the same basic concepts of it. We joke about it, but Mr. Tickle Trunk, the visual representation of Mr. Tickle Trunk came as a result of me punching in some prompts. But again, that was a completely different idea. We came out of an idea out of left field and then rolled with it, and the rest of it came from that. But when you're doing sports cards, there's only so many iterations of sports cards related, like thumbnails that you can do. A lot of them are going to look the same. Like, what is your prompt going to be that's going to make it look any different
Right.
than the last 50 of them? So I don't know. It's like, I'm not sitting here telling people to spend a lot of time on thumbnails because I'm sure as hell not going to do that. I like playing in Canva a little bit. I'll do a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to kill myself over it. Like it's one of those things. I could certainly put a little more effort into myself. But I'm saying if it all looks the same though, I can't distinguish between one channel and another. That's my overarching point. If I can't distinguish between your thumbnail and another person's thumbnail that just happens to be using the same program and putting in nearly identical prompts and it all looks kind of the same, it's like then it just feels like I'm at that point, Eric. Right now, honestly, what I've been getting a lot of fun out of is Prime Video added in Bar Rescue. I didn't realize Bar Rescue was on there. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Bar Rescue?
Yes.
Yeah, they added in Bar Rescue, and I was like, great. I've been wanting to watch this. So, Eric, I've been enjoying some Bar Rescue. That's been fun for me. So I've been watching that. The new season of Fallout is out, so I'm watching those episodes. Brandon, I watch a crap ton of YouTube, and if I'm watching some of it right now, I'm watching for stuff outside of the sports show genre because I feel like sports show genre, we're kind of in the same. We're in a holding pattern. So you know what, Brandon? In the meantime, I'll be watching some Bar Rescue and some of this other stuff.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore. I'm kind of in the same vein. I have shifted over to watching shows. In fact, after we're done here, I got about 25 minutes left of the finale of Welcome to Derry. I finally watched all of the It movies, and then we started watching that Welcome to Derry. So, yeah, I've been watching shows. I've even started finding game shows that were pretty fun to watch, or not necessarily game shows, but like the challenge shows, 1 versus 100, and there was a couple other ones we found that were pretty interesting. But
see, Eric, it's all going to fall apart as soon as I need a couple more weeks. And one of the things I like watching is the Traders. Have you ever heard of the Traders?
No.
So the Traders is kind of like a reality game show-ish kind of thing. It's basically a play off of some classic games where you pick a couple of people and they're supposed to try to sabotage everybody else. They've got all these games and challenges and whatever. So there's 3 versions that I watch. There's the American version of it, there's a Canadian version of it, and then the UK version of it. And all 3 of them run a very similar season. So I'm waiting a couple more weeks for the last one of them to go. And then one of the subscription services here has them. And I just binge watch them. I basically just sit there and I think I enjoy it though. They really play it up. It's obviously supposed to be like this game and they play it up. And I'm like, I enjoy this. This is fun. But I like to binge watch it. I'm not going to sit there and watch it week by week. No, I want to be able to watch these episodes back to back, especially if it's kind of a fun season with these characters. Problem is, after a while, like any other game show, once everybody figures out how to start gaming the game show, it's about being a lying sack of crap. So the reality is like everybody's kind of lying to everybody, but then you don't want to be seen. You don't want to look too suspicious, but then you don't want to look suspicious. And I'm sitting there like, yep.
When will you be applying to be on the show?
I'm on it right now.
Yeah, I figured as much.
And I'm winning.
I would assume.
I'm just saying. It'd be too obvious. The first person they would suspect is me, Eric.
Flying sack of crap.
Shadiness is my birthright.
Yes.
Listen, I only speak in sincere truths. And I, for one, think Eric Wade is a articulate, intelligent, thoughtful human being.
Flying sack of crap.
And I think that hockey's a real sport. And Marcel Dion is one of its all-time greats.
That part's true.
Lying sack or crap. Anyway, on that bombshell, moving on.
I'm going to tell him.
All right, tell him that you said Marcel
I'm
Dion
not
is
telling him I
a
said it. I'm going to tell him you said it. You're going to see angry Marcel.
You're going to lie about who said it?
I'm going to text him right now and tell him.
You're going to text him and say, hey, Marcel, I told you, I said you were a piece of shit and you're the worst hockey player I've ever seen. You're trash and everybody hates you. And you know what? I can fight you, but I'm going to say Carlos did it. Sounds like the kind of lie you would tell.
I'm going to
It's
tell him.
highly inappropriate. By the way, that's very mean, Eric.
Hey, remember that guy with the beard I introduced you to? You wouldn't believe what he had to say to you.
Ooh, you're trying to take on Brandon. Brandon's a veteran. He fought with Custer.
Yeah.
He wouldn't believe you.
Exactly. With that majestic beard.
I'm gonna
He'd
say,
be like, yeah, you're right. I
Your
don't believe you."
credibility is shot, Eric, as soon as you try to take on the majestic beard. I'm just saying. On that bombshell.
Marcel did say he liked his beard.
That's what I'm saying.
And hey, for the people that have been around the podcast, I noticed it this evening.
You noticed this evening.
The intro parts, it was very, very short. This is a representation of the commitment we have given to you folks.
It is true. The videos have shown various levels of beard. There have been various levels of beard in the intro video. That is a fact. That is a fact. On that bombshell, that's it. 163 episodes in the books. We'll be back. More videos coming on the channel. Friday live stream, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Longest running episodic, whatever it is, we don't know. And pending TBD, maybe a watch along. Because on Sunday we do have a doubleheader, AFC and NFC Championship. I got to think about it. I got to see how I'm feeling about it. Because really, we're all rooting for Eric's downfall. Because that'd be wonderful. Truly glorious. And more importantly, Brandon, some of us, I won't say who, are rooting for other things. Let's go. To be on eBay short order. Well, I still can. Just saying. Anyway, that's it. Brandon, Bobbles and Ball Cars, known associated 540 flips, even though he might have killed him. Eric Sanderson DeOr on the YouTubes, on the internets, all the things. You can send him hate mail. And in addition to that, tell him that Yolanda's not real.
Don't you talk about Yolanda.
I only know Yolanda from her time in the Guelph Grand Prix. It's the only Yolanda I'm familiar with.
You don't joke about Yolanda now. Come on.
She went circles around Stone Road Mall. It was very exciting. That's it for us. Catch you next one.